Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have had to put my camera up so high. I'm currently standing up so that I can fit this in. So if you've watched my channel, we have had 2 fails recently, but we had 1 success and Alex is loving doing his paint by numbers. So that's brilliant. Oh, I tell you what, it was just brilliant. We got Alex on the table doing his paint by numbers and we had Oliver on doing his little paint by numbers. And you know what? They were just happy. And it's brilliant. I love being able to share my love of things with my kids as well. You know, whether that's been nail stuff, as we know, they've been in videos when it's been nail stuff. Now they're 10 and 8. They're not, I mean, they still like glitter, but you know, they've moved on a little bit from there. So it's nice to have this. But I bought this. This came up on offer. This is triptych from Schipper. Okay, so this one is slightly different to the normal triptychs because this is 3 of exactly the same size. With the other triptychs, they are rectangular shape, and you get one that's big like this, and then you get 2 that are kind of half the size of those. Okay, and Amazon, I got this from Amazon. This came up on offer. Now, normally these are around about 50-60 quid. And it got reduced down to 30. My husband's looking at me going, why are you asking me? Because I don't know how much you spend on these things. It's true. But he also knows that I generally never pay full price for anything. And I've got them all on my Amazon wish list. And I keep an eye on the prices of them. So yeah, this was nearly half price. And I grabbed it. And it's kind of been sat to one side because I was a little bit intimidated by this one and I wanted to do my little baby Schipper first. Seeing as I've had 2 fails now, I'm like, we're going in with this one. We are coming in with this bad boy because it's beautiful and yeah, I really want to conquer this one. It is now nearly 10 o'clock at night. I've been waiting for things to finish and whatever so I can finally open this. I'm not going to swatch it tonight, amazingly enough. But I want to open it. I want to see. Because it's a new present. And yeah, I'm excited. You can buy the frames. And people, well, Melanie B has recommended you buy the Schipper frames. Because they fit exactly to these boards. So these are board. They are not canvases. Great thing about that is I don't have to gesso this. You can gesso them, but you don't have to gesso them. I've never gessoed one, and seeing the technique to gesso a board, yeah, I'm not brave enough. I'm not going there. Right, let's have a look what we've got under the lid. So I'm hoping that there was going to be an absolute butt ton of paints because I'm like, I've got to do 3 paintings. So, yeah, and we have. I mean, so the baby Schipper, we had up to D, I think. Yeah, I had 4 rows. So I've got double the amount here. And we're going to use the flow technique because this is a Schipper. So that's all the paints and we have all the labels and I'll come back to that in a moment. Let's have a look at the boards. So there's our numbers and our new little paintbrush. I love the paintbrush. I really, really do. I have got some others that I'm also going to use, which I played with the paints from the last Schipper that I did. Sorry, I'm getting my angles right. Probably easier if I put it on here, isn't it? So because I suspect this one may have some bigger areas because it's a bigger board, I found a much bigger brush. This one is bigger as well, and then this one is a smaller one, but it's got a nice point. It's not too thin because I found with a really thin brush the blob of paint which you need right on the end wasn't going on the end. Let me put a... Does that help? No, I don't think it does. Not that one. Let's try this one. There we go. So yeah, so the blob of paint, because it was so thin just on this end, the blob of paint was here, which wasn't helpful when I was trying to line it. So I've been using or trialing this one out a little bit, and that definitely worked better. So these are round brushes, whereas when we were doing the normal painting technique rather than flow technique, we were using flat brushes, not round brushes. There you go, that's the difference. Okay. And as you can see, this is a round brush. So even though there is 3 of these, we've still got exactly the same brush, which I think is a size 3. Yeah. Now, that's a size 3 for the Schipper brush. This is a size 2 in the Nick Pro brush. And you can instantly see the difference between those sizes. So, yeah, it's a little bit misleading sometimes on the numberings, I have discovered. Right, so there should be 3 different boards. And thankfully they always put on up the top here. So this is board number 3. And that's the top. Okay. Board number... So this is... Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. And... Well, it is and it isn't. I didn't know how big the cells were going to go. So if you saw my last one, in that, all of the cells were kind of like this. Okay, and it was very intense because they are so small. Whereas this one has got much more bigger cells of colour to go into. And the other thing I liked about this one, although it's a triptych and they all go together. So this is the one with the pier. So that's number 2. So there's the pier and a bit of the boat. So yeah, even though they all go together, each one looked very different from the other. So it was like doing 3 different paintings. The other thing about these boards, as you may or may not be able to tell if I move this box out of the way. So this here is the edge of my table, and you can just see in the corner here, there's the edge of my other table. Right, pop a board on it, and it is near enough perfectly the right size to fit my table. Because when you do the flow technique, you have to do it flat. Yes, otherwise it's going to go horribly wrong. And I mean horribly wrong. Because it will just all roll. It will just spread everywhere. Okay, so you need to have it flat. So yeah, there were a couple of reasons why I like this one. I loved the picture. Simple as that. I really love that picture. It was so tranquil, and I thought it would look oh, excuse me again. I thought it looked beautiful in my bedroom. Something really nice and peaceful, and I've got kind of, it's like a dusky pink, and some nice kind of silver and dusky pink flowers in the wallpaper as well. And so I thought this would just go really nicely with all of that. The only thing I have to decide is which one do I go with first. Now, I am not going to time-lapse these, or I would be very surprised if I time-lapse these. I found time-lapsing made what should have been a nice, relaxing process stressful, because I had to have the camera positioned right, and I had to have the light right, and I couldn't lean over as much and eat. Normally I just stick my headphones on and I just escape into it, and I couldn't because I was recording and all of my music is connected to my phone, and yeah, it didn't. Now, it may well be I will do a time-lapse one. I don't know. At this point in time, I'm not sure. This one actually looks like the simplest one out of the 3 of them. That one is definitely the more complicated, because you can see straight away there's a lot more going on in that one. And so this one, yeah, I'd say is the middle one, really. Whereas this one has got a lot more big sections and areas. which I like. So I think I'm going to probably start with number 1. There we go. We have at least decided that one. Like I said, whether I time lapse it or not, I don't know at this point. I will decide that one another day, because it's far too late in the day to decide that one. So this is the one we're going to start with, and I'm going to come back and show you the paints shortly, because I might do that as a separate video. But first off, I'm going to show you what we get in this kit. Now this is really, yeah, you can tell I'm up and down, up and down, up and down. So I'm now going to move me down a little bit, which is more my normal position. It's not quite, because all my lights and everything I had to move to be able to get up high enough. But I needed you to be able to see it like that, because then you get the full effect of it, and that's the most important thing. This is the entice me. Buy me, buy me, buy me. Nope. Throwing that over there. Okay, so these are the paints. Now, you get them labelled like this, but you have to put your own stickers on. Now, in here should be an instruction guide that then tells you which colours go where. Right. Also, if you watch my 2 fail videos about paint by numbers and the kits that I bought recently, you will see what I mean about the difference of a Schipper. Now, in fairness, I only spent, well, on one of them, I only spent £5 on it. So I really didn't give 2 hoots about it. But the other one, I'd spent about 15 quid. And so I was really annoyed by that one, because I was like, I mean, 15 out of the 18 paints were useless. So that was kind of annoying. And you think I've just paid just over 30 quid for this, which is 3 paintings, and the quality is massively different. So this is what you get. You will always get a reference guide. Okay. Now, because it's a triptych, we have 3 reference guides. Okay. Now, let's have a look. Okay. So, I was thinking we must have duplicates in here, because they can't all be different numbers. So, it's exactly the same on both sides. But you'll see, so this goes up to, we have 42 different colours. Oh my God. That's pretty friggin' awesome, to be honest. And we also have some duplicate colours. So row H is the duplicates. Okay, so in here, what we do is it doesn't actually give you the duplicate numbers. You write them on, and then you stick them to your duplicates. Okay, very important that. I was just double checking myself there. Yeah, there is definitely only number 121. Okay, so this is what I mean. It takes a little while to sort your paints out before we get swatching. But I really don't like turning paints upside down, but I'm going to do it just so you can see the colour palette that we have in this kit. And that is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 42 different colours. What? Oh, this excites me. It really is. I know you're all looking at it again, but it's like 20 versions of blue or brown or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's really nice. It's a really nice colour palette. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop those over there, and I am going to show you one of these. So straight out the pot. All right. So because these have sat for a little while, the colour does separate a bit. That is not a problem. Okay, we're going to get the stirring stick and we're going to stir that up, and instantly the colour restores back. Okay, it's fine. A bit of separation is not a problem. Instantly, can you see the consistency of this colour? Right, it is nearly spot on to what I would want it to be. For the flow technique, I want it thinner than that. Okay, but if you're just going to paint with that straight out the pot, there's no messing whatsoever. Okay, you don't have to prep the board, you don't have to prep the canvas, you don't have to prep the paints, generally speaking. There might be one or two maybe in here that's a little bit thicker that I've got to do something with, but Jesus, 42 paints, 42. This will either excite you or it won't, and if it doesn't excite you, you're probably watching the wrong videos. I didn't fully get Melanie B's excitement when she opened a Schipper. I was like, it's paint, okay, whatever. But I get it now. I really do get it. All right, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going, I don't know what number that one is. Let me have a look. It's number 34 because it's the one on the end. Let me see if I can find a number 34. Now that's a blue, so that's going to be at the bottom somewhere. Okay, there we go. I found one. Where are you? I found it. I did find it. Right, there's number 30. And I'm just going to take a small. Now you see what I mean? Hang on, let me see if I can get that to focus. Can you see how it's puddled towards the end of the brush? So what we want to do is, normally when we're doing the flow technique, especially if you see bigger cells, you need to go around the edge and then fill it in so it puddles. I'm trying to find a decent size 34, so okay, we're going to go with that one. And I'm just going to go over the top of that number. Not very well in the lines because, you know, it is actually late at night and I'm really tired. But I really wanted to open this. Okay, so instantly that covers. There's no second coat required on that, even if you're just going to use the normal painting method. I can't even see the lines. Which is the other thing and the problem that I had with the, what do we call it, time-lapse, was because the camera was sat up here all the time. I couldn't put my face right over because otherwise you end up with my hair in the shot. Oh my God, that's a beautiful colour. Beautiful colour. Now, as I say, I will prep it for the flow technique, which means that I'm going to add lots of flow aid in it. They just say add water if you want to. I'm being guided by Melanie B, and I have to agree. I tried using water in a very, very previous set because I've been recommended to water down the paints when you use them. The coverage was shite. It really was. It didn't help matters in the slightest. So I switched and started using flow aid just to thin out my paints a little bit, even if I wasn't using the flow technique, as you've seen what I've done with Alex's video previously, which is the Nightmare Before Christmas, and me thinning down the paint a little bit, and you can just see the consistency change, and it just makes it more workable. It means it doesn't drag across the canvas, it flows across the canvas. It thins it, it doesn't dilute it, because it's not water. You can use diluted flow aid with it as well, and we do a bit. You're trying to get the consistency of milk, is what we're doing, but I will talk more about that, I think, in a follow-up video when I'm going to do a bit of painting as well, and I'm going to not time-lapse it so you can actually see it in real time what I'm talking about and how it works. Because with the time-lapse one, I found, although it was great to see it all to come together, it didn't really show you that technique very much. So if you're interested, that's what we're going to do. I am going to get all these labelled up, and then I am going to do like a little swatch guide for you, and we can see how they're coming out. What I normally do is I sometimes swatch them on the numbers up here, so then we can see what they are like. And the fact that I've got it on the reverse means I don't need to worry then if I've got it up there, because this one is printed so small on here, you're really not going to see too much, so I'll do it up there instead. Okay, I shall be back in a moment. And I am back, and they have all been swatched. So out of that, I have some very clear ones. So number 1, 2, 6, 28, 14, 15, 16 and 18 are all translucent. Okay, the other ones pretty much cover up first time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 42 pens. I don't think that's bad in the slightest. Now, as you can tell, I did these. I swatched them on really dark numbers. These are not this dark at all. They're grey, not black. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as it currently looks on here, because it's not as dark on here. Also, I'm going to use the flow technique, which means it probably won't cause any problems whatsoever. Yay! My cat is going in the background because she's like, I want to go upstairs, I want to go upstairs, I want to go upstairs. But this is first thing in the morning. My husband is currently asleep, and the answer is no, you're not going to go jump on him. It's Sunday. Leave him be. Which is what we've done, because we've all come downstairs. So there you go. That is the unboxing and swatching of this triptych. And yeah, I may do another video showing you the flow technique. I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I am going to do. But I'm going to say bye-bye for now. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.